But where do you want to dive first? Do you want to go into Drake or do you want to go into Nas?
Let's go Nas because I think that's interesting.
Okay, you go
So,
ahead. You lead it.
hey, Nas dropped Magic 3. I think this is the sixth album he has released in the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. So it went King's
Hmm.
Disease 1, King's Disease 2, Magic,
Hmm.
King's Disease 3, Magic 2, Magic 3. All produced
Sounds
by Hit
right.
Boy. So
Hmm.
a lot of different topics. I think I can dive into this. I will say first, you won't agree with this opinion, but it's fine.
Hmm.
I think Magic. I'm not gonna say I think. For me, Magic is my second favorite album by him ever.
Hmm.
I think, and this is a debate all the time. I don't think not everyone says Eminem picks like really bad beats.
Hmm.
I don't think Nas picks very good beats. They
Okay.
just don't do it for me. And for some reason, Hit Boy, not for some reason, because he's talented, but Magic has some hard ass hitting beats and
Hmm.
hard drums. And this new album, it sounds very boring to me up until
Hmm.
halfway through when I finally hear like drums that are hard. And there's a couple different points I want to make on this album, but first, there's only one feature on it, which is great.
Hmm.
Lil Wayne fucking murders that.
Hmm.
He's so good at just sticking to one rhyme scheme, and he never runs out of things to say. It is literally insane. But I want to ask you because I think certain artists have the skill set to do a whole album by themselves. Usually, that requires you to be able to sing and rap, and Nas is not a singer. So
Hmm.
the content for me at this time in his career gets a little boring. It's not like other artists who I listen to where I'm word for word picking up and loving what everything they're saying. So who do you think are artists that are able to drop without a feature on the album?
Yeah, of course you're thinking of one man, right? The guy who's kind of notorious for it, J. Cole. But I feel
Jermaine.
like overall, right? Again, I'm always gonna say streaming. I'm sorry, guys, but I feel like streaming is like the cause of most of this, and just the way music is delivered. It's very hard. I mean, artists still do it though. They drop albums without features, but it's very difficult to grab people's attention spans when it's just you. And it can be just you, but you need to be able to be flexible, be able to adapt to different sounds, and just have a diverse array of sounds on your project. Magic with Nas, I feel like is a little bit skewed. Why? Because he literally dropped what, six projects in how many years? And
Yeah.
that's my issue to begin with. I'm very happy Nas is dropping. There's no limit to how much you can drop, but the more you drop, the less exciting the anticipation and all that
Yeah.
stuff it is.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the content is just the same on all the
Mm-hmm.
albums for the most
Mm-hmm.
part. So it's not like, say, Jay-Z waits 5 years to drop and he has this huge
Mm-hmm.
infidelity thing. It's like, what does
Yeah.
Jay-Z have to say about this whole big thing that happened? And
Mm-hmm.
he talks about it beautifully. But if Jay-Z a year later came out with another album about cheating and then came out with another album about cheating, it'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's too much. I don't really care anymore. So not this so it's just like it was so cool hearing Nas on Magic, especially because it's a short album, 30 minutes. You have the ASAP Rocky feature, which he kills it
Mm-hmm.
too. But like that, it was just more digestible to me than an hour-long album of just him
Mm-hmm.
with Will Wayne in the middle. Just didn't do
Yeah.
it for me.
And it's hard to do that, especially as a rapper. When you're just gonna rap the whole time, you need to have a lot of different production choices. And when you're just sticking with one producer, obviously Hit Boy is amazing, but you've been sticking with him for six albums. There's only so many different types of songs you could possibly make with that. And like I
Yeah,
said, you're not whack for saying Magic is for you your second favorite Nas album. I'm assuming Illmatic is the first one.
yeah,
Magic was and is incredible. When I first heard it, when I first saw the cover art, I said Nas is about to snap. A lot of people have been talking bad about Nas. They've
it's
been making fun
cold,
of his beat selection, like
cold
you
cover.
said, but it is absolutely cold as an album. But then for you to continue to release and just I don't know, saturate. I don't want to tell Nas, right, you can't drop. I feel like for
Yeah, no,
any
it's
artist,
fun.
it can
Go
be
for it.
way too much. So what? And I know you want your artist to drop often. So what is a good amount for good amount of drops for album for artists to make, and what's too little?
Um, I guess it's depending on the artist and like what
Mhm.
if something big happens in your life. So if you're an artist, you make an
Mhm.
album, and then a year later you have a kid, and you want to come out with an album about that. Like that's really interesting, even though it's a year apart, because we know
Mhm.
something big happened in your life, and it's like, what does this artist have to say about parenthood or something? So I don't know. I guess it's dependent on the artist. Obviously, a year break, you gotta leave them wanting you. I saw a Drake clip yesterday where he's talking about how it's the beginning of his career, like 2008, and he was saying how he wants to make some albums and dip away because you want the people to desire what you have to say. You don't want to oversaturate because like we don't really care what you have to say anymore.